Hello, my name's Matt, and this is my attempt at a vlog/podcast. I have a few things that I'm fairly knowledgeable about and have experience with that I'd like to talk about. I've also got some ideas of other people that I'd like to talk about them with, so look forward to having other people in this space talking about various topics. So, some things that I'm interested in, knowledgeable about, and have experience of include being in bands, metal bands, black metal bands. I've been in a black metal band for quite some time now, so I do vocals and guitar for Arjesk, which is a melodic black metal band. Some people call us symphonic. I don't tend to argue with that. I wouldn't really consider us symphonic myself, but I think the new material does have more of a symphonic sound to the keys. So yeah, maybe we'll earn that tag, you never know. As well as that, I am sober, so I don't drink alcohol. I quit drinking alcohol a year and a half ago, and still going strong now. Um, as well as that, I am in a management position at work, so I've been doing that for like a year and a half now, and I got a promotion about a year in. So yeah, that's something else that I can talk about, give advice on, answer questions about. So I kind of just thought I've got a fair bit of knowledge and experience at this point to share. I wouldn't say that I'm a wealth of knowledge about any of these things. I wouldn't say I'm an expert in any of these things, but they're all things that people like to hear about and ask me about. So I think it'd be good to share some of my knowledge and experience. So relating to the band side of it, I've been in Arjesk for, well, we started it in 2017, so that's 7 years now. It's melodic black metal. It's very influenced by Cradle of Filth, Hecate Enthroned, some Finnish melodic black metal, Ancient. Just loads of my influences basically. There's lots of other influences in there. As well as that, I've been in bands for about 13 years now. I started my first band when I was 17. I actually tried to start a black metal band. I called it the Nazgul, which is exactly the sort of thing you'd expect a 17-year-old to call a black metal band. But yeah, that was just a case of jamming with other people, and it didn't really go anywhere, but it helped me start to get involved in the scene and get my foot in the door. I then went on to join another band in the area, in Liverpool, called Gods of War. We released an EP and a single. We did that for a few years, and that broke up after I did that for about 3 years with them. I then went on to be involved with some bands in the Cumbrian black metal scene. So some of you will be familiar with Paul Gibson from Wolf Here Productions. I was in a couple of bands with him. We did Atramors, Glaramara, and I also helped him out with some lyrics for a band called Skidor. We did that for a couple of years. But then I moved to Manchester, and it became a lot harder to rehearse in Cumbria. I don't drive, and it's 3 hours on the train. So that became quite difficult. So I wanted something more local in Manchester. And a great thing about Manchester is that there is quite a lot of local musicians, and there happen to be quite a few musicians who are interested in being in a black metal band. So I started Arjesk in 2017. It's still going strong now. We released an album in 2020, and we are well underway recording the second album, nearly finished recording it actually. So yeah, been a bit of a gap, but hopefully people will enjoy what we've been working on once it comes out. Hopefully next year. Well, yeah. Yeah, so that's the band stuff. In terms of sobriety, I gave up alcohol a year and a half ago, and I've seen absolutely loads of benefits to my life because of it. Mental health wise, physical health wise, finance wise. I feel like a lot of how well I've done at work I can attribute to the fact that I haven't been drinking. Um, it's honestly really helped me in a great deal of ways. Um, it does seem to be a bit of a rarity in the sort of metal band scene slash space. With metal, there is a lot of a kind of drinking element to a lot of it. You get whole bands that are based on the idea of drinking and sort of partying. So yeah, it's interesting, kind of going against the grain in that way. But I have met quite a few people who are doing the same thing. I've got a few contacts who are very helpful when I'm sort of wanting any advice or wanting to talk about drinking or not drinking, especially as it pertains to being in a band. Um, yeah, so and people often want to know more as well when I tell them that I don't drink, and that I stopped drinking. Uh, yeah, I actually met a total stranger a couple of days ago at the tram stop, and we struck up a conversation, and it just came up that I don't drink. Like we were talking about nights out, and I just kind of slipped that in that I don't drink anymore. And he was really interested. He was saying, "I'd love to do that. I wish I could do that." That's one that I hear a lot actually. A lot of people say to me, "I wish I could do that," which I find really interesting. I might have actually said that myself at one point when I was drinking. I would never have considered myself an alcoholic, but I would say I had an unhealthy relationship with it. And that is what I wanted to put a stop to, basically get a handle on. And it's one of the best things I've ever done. Sometimes I feel like I'm being a bit preachy about it, but usually I will mention it when people ask or when they want to know more. I might just say it casually that I don't drink, but if if people don't want to know any more about that, then obviously that's fine. If they do, I'm happy to answer any questions. Yeah, so that's that. And then there's also the um, management side as well. So yeah, I do a management role, and I'm happy to answer questions on how I got into that. I've been doing it for a year and a half. When I first got into it, actually coincided with me giving up alcohol. So when I did first start in my management role, I did still drink, but that changed within the first couple of weeks. And I don't know if I would have lasted if I had carried on drinking, because I think with the effects that it has on your kind of mental health, your cognition, I don't think I would have lasted doing a management job if I was drinking at the rates that I was. I don't think I drank massively, excessively, most of the time, but when I did, it was pretty. I did drink quite a lot. So yeah, I would also like to get some people on this vlog, podcast, whatever you might call it, and talk to them about their experiences. I have a couple of people in mind, one of whom I've been discussing doing it with, so hopefully that will materialise in the near future. it's another thing that I've been doing recently. Actually, is it relates to fitness. So I've been going to the gym quite a lot, um, and going for runs, and both of those things I've found hugely beneficial on my physical health, mental health, um, just well-being generally. Really, it's something I could definitely be better with, but it's something I'm really glad that I started doing and want to continue doing, and I'm happy to talk about that, answer any questions about it, share my experiences with it. I was very much not a sporty kid at all. I kind of I only did PE because I had to. It was rare that you'd get me to exercise really as a kid, but honestly, it really does have such huge benefits to your physical health, your mental health. Um, you just you need it as a human. Like you talk about taking dogs for walks. You take a dog for a walk every day. Why do we not take ourselves for a walk every day, or make sure that we do something that gives us that kind of exercise, or gets our heart rate up at least? Maybe we should. I don't know. Anyway, rambling a little bit now, so I'm going to wrap this up. But yeah, like, what would you like to see me talk about or hear me talk about? Do you have any questions about my bands, about my music? I've actually been doing some synth recently. I have been getting into home recording, and I've been playing around with some synth sounds in Ableton, which, yeah, that has some absolutely wonderful synth sounds in it if you have Ableton. I've also been playing around with a choir sound as well, so I got a choir sound from Spitfire, as well as an orchestral kind of mini library from Spitfire. They actually have a free BBC Symphony Orchestra VST. If you don't know what a VST is, it's basically a virtual instrument. So you can use a MIDI keyboard. So I've got one which I've had for literally years, since I was about 10 years old, that thankfully has MIDI capability. So you can plug that in with a MIDI interface into your laptop or your computer, and you can basically play a virtual instrument, and it will give you the sound of that instrument. So I can be sat there playing my 14-year-old keyboard, I think. No, it'd be more than that. Yeah, mental maths is shit. And I can be getting sounds from BBC Symphony Orchestra, a choir, all sorts of like these wonderful synth sounds. So it's something I've really enjoyed working on and playing around with recently. I posted some of it online. Yeah, so I've rambled a bit now, running out of things to say. Questions and answers. If you have any questions, send them my way. I will address them in the next video. And yeah, look forward to me speaking to some guests. I've got one who I'm speaking to at the moment, trying to plan how we're going to do it, and I've got some in mind who I'd like to speak to in the future, like make inquiries with. I've got a list, so yeah, see where this goes. Thanks everyone, bye.